All right, so do you want to tell me who you are and a little bit about Capital Trees?
Sure. I'm Frazier Armstrong. I'm the executive director of Capital Trees. And we have a very close relationship with the Capitol Trail in that our low line runs along the Virginia Capitol Trail between Great Shiplock Park and the flood wall / canal walk. We have been good partners. It is one of those sort of symbiotic relationships. You can't do one without the other in that particular part of the Capitol Trail. And we are just delighted to have the Capitol Trail as part of the low line and vice versa. It's one of those relationships that when you have an asset like the Capitol Trail and you can make the experience even better for the users by creating a linear garden around an existing community asset, it really makes a difference. It checks a lot of boxes for public landscapes, which is what Capital Trees is all about. Our mission is to create and build public landscapes that make communities better, that enrich them either from a health and wellness standpoint, or offer an opportunity for economic development, or offer an opportunity to sort of punctuate an historic feature in the community, which is what the low-lying green will be, in addition to remediating environmental issues around some of the landscapes. And again, the low line, which is the low line gardens as well as the low line green, sort of checks a lot of those boxes, the Capitol Trail being a tremendous community asset that, again, I think is enhanced by the gardens and vice versa. The gardens wouldn't be nearly as popular or wonderful were it not for the Capitol Trail.
Right, works really well together. So can you tell me about how the Capital Trees was started?
Sure. Capital Trees came to be about 10 years ago through sort of a variety of partnerships. It grew out of 4 of the Richmond garden clubs wanting to address a tree canopy, hence the name, address the diminishing and sort of not so great tree canopy in Richmond. That led to a partnership on our 14th Street project, which was completed and was essentially an environmental stormwater remediation project. We took a basically gray infrastructure on 14th Street and turned it into a green stormwater remediation asset for the city. And then, as fate would have it, the bike race was close on the heels of that project, and the garden clubs again were somewhat involved with the opening of the Capitol Trail, all of which happened around the same time. And we were asked to come down and take a look at Great Shiplock Park, which at that point was really, really not so great. And it happened to be where the Capitol Trail was going to be, the ceremonies and so on and so forth were going to be held. So we partnered again with the city and with other folks to spiff up Great Shiplock Park, both sort of make it prettier. It was going to be on international TV and not a very pretty asset. So the city really wanted to make it look better. And that led to the opportunity to expand our work west. We knew that the trail was going to head that way. And we just thought, what a great opportunity. And this small group of all volunteers undertook that effort and began literally sort of fundraising and pulling themselves together in 2014. And then in 2016 began creating and building the Lowline Gardens, which was sort of the first phase of what we call the overall Lowline project. And we are about to, with any luck at all, open the final phase of the Lowline, which we're calling the Lowline Green, which is that westernmost open green space that has been neglected and is sort of derelict now. And it will be turned into, again, a beautiful public landscape with any luck at all by the 3rd or 4th week of May. We have done some pretty serious environmental remediation there. We're going to take stormwater that's running right off I-95 and running right into the green and right into the canal. We have put in a series of drainage and created a rain garden. So we will remediate an awful lot of that bad, icky stuff that's running right off the highways and into the canal and ultimately into the river. We're very proud of that. That's one of our signature sort of tenets. Where there is an opportunity to create beautiful green space, it also, in many cases, is married with environmental remediation and stormwater best practices.
Right.
So that's sort of where we are right now.
So are you working on the stormwater within the next few weeks? You said end of May.
That piece of it is actually complete.
Okay.
The piece we're waiting on right now is literally putting the plants in. We're putting irrigation in now, pouring footings for new signage, and making sure the soil is amended properly, and all of the things that we do to guarantee that our work is sustainable. One of the key factors of our work is that we maintain everything we do. So that's unlike a lot of other organizations that sort of plant and leave. We don't plant and leave. We plant and stay and invest, and it's just part of how we do things.
Are volunteers doing a lot of the maintenance, or are you contracting that out?
We do both. We contract with a wonderful landscape firm partner, BWS, and we also we hold work days both for the community as well as for some of our corporate partners and investors. And it's a good way to build stakeholder interest, to create a sense of community, to create a sense of ownership. One of the things we're proudest of is that we're beginning to see more and more folks who live around the low line in that area really take an interest in it, and it's sort of in their neighborhood, they use it. So they are beginning to turn out to help us care for it. And that's just exactly what you want public green space or public landscape to do.
Right, you're really bringing the community together.
Yes, exactly.
That's wonderful.
And particularly during this time, the ability to get out, even on that little short, 5.5 acre stretch there, as you well know, and the Capitol Trail is just that same kind of asset to be able to offer that in this time of staying in. It's easy to sort of social distance on a long spread out place. And it really has been, I think, a saving grace for lots of folks and a way to sort of take care of themselves in a way that they might not be able to otherwise.
Right. Has anything changed for Capitol Trees specifically during COVID-19 restrictions?
Other than that, we're not in the office.
Right.
We're clearly not in the office. And I think, like a lot of other organizations, we are sort of holding our breath to see how the community responds, especially at year end, when a lot of our organizations like this are looking for year-end giving, philanthropic thoughts and actions that at a time when a lot of our fiscal years are closing. I think we hope that people will recognize the value of what we do, just as you all do.
Right.
And so other than that, we're maintaining. It's springtime. The low-lying garden's absolutely beautiful. We were able to hold a work day right before we sort of, all got sequestered, and we did a lot of the spring work, a lot of the spring pruning. And one of our things that I think is most exciting is that we are adapting our landscape practices to a much more sustainable model. So this is a good time for us to begin to try some of those things that involve, a more natural approach, a more sustainable approach. And we're lucky to have the partners we have to help us do that.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very happy for y'all.
Thank you.
So my last question is, what is your favorite place on the Capitol Trail, excluding the low lines? Because I know you might be a little bit biased.
Gosh, I think the piece, oddly enough, I have ridden it from both ends, and I think my favorite piece is that Eastern Henrico, as you ride through all those beautiful fields right at the between sort of where you get on it out of the city
Mhm.
and into the Eastern Henrico part, between here and Dory Park. It's just a beautiful, the hills notwithstanding. It's it really is a beautiful ride. We were out about just as the sun, well, close to sunset. And it's just, particularly this time of year with the fields green, some of them cut, it just, and I think one of the things I love about the trail is just the diversity of the communities that now use it, whether they're walking or roller skating or biking. It really just did my heart good to see so many people out, and folks that I'm not sure would have been out had the trail not been there. And I think that really, really is, it's just such a huge, huge benefit.
Right. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me and telling me a little bit more about Capital Trees. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Of
me, and thanks
course.
for all you all do. We're glad to be partners.
Of course. Thanks for keeping the trail beautiful. And we love the lowlines. We're excited for Lowline Green to open up.
Good, good. Thank you. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.